Well, good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome to the channel. My name is Dan, and today, basically, what I've done to bring the channel a bit more variety, I've gone out there and I've purchased a piece of exotic hardwood, and this hardwood comes from Africa, and the name of this hardwood is called UmBilo, and often takes the name of mokwa or kayat. And as you can see from this piece, this is 10 inches in diameter by 2 inches in width. So basically, what I'd like to do, I'd like to take it over to the bandsaw, try and get this into a nice round piece rather than square. I could leave it into square format, into a square looking platter or a bowl, but the problem being the ends have been waxed. And what I'd like to do is just basically get this into a nice circular format. And basically we're going to mount this via the worm screw onto the lathe, and hopefully we can turn this into another decorative piece. But hopefully we can get this straight onto the lathe, and let's get turning. Right, now as you can see, basically I've rounded this off to the best of my ability, and I have marked it dead center so we don't have any wobble basically when turning this piece. Now, one thing that caught me by surprise when actually cutting this timber, some of the colors which are running horizontal through the piece, you say we've got these lighter browns and some of these darker streaks really running through it, and some of the reds which are coming through on the opposite side. Now, one thing that took me by surprise, when I was actually cutting this on the bandsaw, it cuts a lot like sapel. It's a very dusty type of timber, but being South African, I was going to say I've never turned any exotics before, so I will be using the mask basically when I turn this. I've also got some wild mango and some tanga to put on the lathe as well. So you'd like to see how I get on with that. I was going to say, don't forget to drop a subscribe onto the channel. But first things first, we're going to get onto the 3/8 bowl gouge. Both my bowl gouges come from Crown. I often use the 1/2 inch bowl gouge and the 3/8 bowl gouge. We're going to get this up to probably around about 1,000 revs and hopefully get this into a nice decorative piece. Now, what I'd like to do just before I begin, I'm going to bring in the tailstock just for a bit of added support, basically, because with it being mounted onto the worm screw, I just like to have that extra bit of stability when turning the piece. So I'm just going to lock that in place, and we're going to start the lathe off at 140 revs, and we're on belt ratio 2. So I'm probably going to get this up to around about 1,000 revs. So let's gradually build up speed. Okay, we're up to 1,000 revs. Okay, so let's get turning. Okay, so we're going to speed things up now, and we're working on a 3/8 bowl gouge from Record Power. And what I'm trying to do here, I'm just using that bevel control really to create a nice tenon on the back for the SC3 jaws. Now, as I come round, basically, I'm just going to start working basically around the sides and then creating that natural form so we get that natural bowl curve, taking out some of those tool marks just around the side and create that nice form. Now, as you can see, I've stopped here just to have a look at the grain. And as you can see, the patterns coming through are absolutely stunning with the different variations in color and that stripy grain coming through. So it's really, really interesting at this point. Now, I've swapped over to the 1/2 inch bowl gouge to start my hollowing process. Again, we're speeding up again just so we can speed this video up really. And what my main aim here is to basically remove that guide hole where the worm screw was. So yeah, bit by bit, not being too aggressive basically, and just following that curve round into the bowl. Right, okay, now we're just finishing off with a couple of cuts now with the 1/2 inch bowl gouge, and we're just going to swap over to the 3/8 bowl gouge just to make some finishing cuts. Now as I come round that inside rim, as you can see, I've stopped here just to take a good look at the grain. Now I've got those reds coming through, there's browns, and as you can see, it's got a beautiful grain pattern all the way through. So we can take this off the lathe now and take a good look at the outside to look at some of those finishing cuts. Really clean, really classic, and again, the grain is just as beautiful on the outside as it is on the inside. Right, okay, from here we're going to start power sanding. We're starting at 80 grit, working through to 120 and working up to 240, making sure we're coming in with the air compressor, removing any dust which may be on the surface before we start cleaning this piece up. Right, okay, moving on to the next process is adding some isopropyl to the surface, just to remove any excess dust which may be still evident on the piece. And I think isopropyl gives it a good indication what it's going to look like once we've applied the finish. But so far, it's really, really starting to make the grain pop and really stand out. Right. Now, as you can see, basically, a lot of these reds and browns and swirly patterns are coming through on this piece of UmBilo. And now we've cleaned up with the air compressor, and we've also put a coat of isopropyl on there just to clean up a lot of the dust that was sitting on the surface, really. Now, what I think would look absolutely beautiful on this piece would be a nice coat of walnut oil. And one reason why I'm going to use walnut oil is it smells absolutely divine. I can see some of these reds coming through basically, and you can see some of the brown swirling patterns where the grain is just really showing its characteristics off, really. But if you've really enjoyed the wood turning today, don't forget to support the channel. I was going to say it really does mean an awful lot to me. But we're going to get some walnut oil out. We'll put a finish on, and we'll see how it really stands out. All right, now we've got some walnut oil on, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to see how this really stands out. And it's absolutely pulling the grain out really beautiful. And saying I'll take this off the lathe very shortly so we can have a closer inspection. But walnut oil and tung oil being two of my favourite types of finishes, really. So it's but this piece today has absolutely blown me away. I do love turning a lot of the native hardwoods here in Wales, but today, for an experience of turning an exotic piece of timber, it's absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. But if you've enjoyed it, basically, let me know what you think down in the comments. I was going to say it does mean an awful lot, and it goes an awful long way. Helps the channel out massively. But I'll just pop that down there. And that all the way around the rim, basically, all the way around the edge of the piece. So you get a lovely coat all the way around. All the way around. Now, if you'd like to see me turn any other type of timber, please let me know down in the comments, and I'll try and get it straight on the lathe. And there we are. What a beautiful piece of timber. What a beautiful piece of timber. Right, okay, and there we are. An absolutely beautiful, stunning piece of African UmBilo, or Kayat, or Merca, as they like to call it. There's some of these grains, some of these reds and browns coming through with the grain patterns. Absolutely stunning. I will take the tenon off, basically, at a later date, and some of these patterns coming through are absolutely stunning. But if you've actually enjoyed the video today, don't forget to drop me a like, a comment, and a subscribe, and hopefully I shall see you in the next one. But thanks for watching, YouTube.